narcissistic abuse, let's be clear of what it means for us. So distinguishing moodiness from abuse in relationships. There is a difference. And we need a kind of margin of tolerance in life because people vary so much. We need some space to allow people to just be themselves, some kind of margin, but then there's also the discernment that we need before people cross the line and things become, like their behavior becomes abusive, right? Or it becomes something that nobody should tolerate. It's grumpy temperament or moodiness, involuntary reactions. This is what we're going to address first. In this case, there is a habit of reacting out of annoyance or anger because of a lack of self-control. So the person is annoyed and they react. Their reactions aren't intended to harm others. They're not making attacks. They don't make attacks like shouts or insults or aggressively accusing you of something. So what happens is instead of just spontaneously saying something to you, they only say something when you say something. So you say something and then they react. And when people are very annoyed, it's sometimes, a lot of the time, they don't say anything rude, actually. What they're saying is not rude, but they're responding to you or reacting to you with a really horrible tone of voice, a very horrible, angry, cold, bitter tone of voice. And it could just be a normal remark or an acceptable opinion, but they're reacting. And that's why it feels offensive. Their most aggressive reactions are more seldom. So we're still defining moodiness here. So their most aggressive reactions are very seldom, and they're just not regular enough to really consider it a serious problem. In the moment, it might seem like narcissistic abuse, but if it's occasional enough, then I wouldn't really consider it a huge problem. Like if it's once every one or a couple of weeks that something triggers them and they react, it's not nearly as severe as someone who is just always in a bad mood and like every day you have to put up with them. And then there's mild criticism. This person is criticizing on occasion, but it's, again, the intention is not maleficent. So it's mostly they're doing it just out of annoyance. There are some people out there that have this nature of being critical and pessimistic and just constantly criticizing. I know a lot of people like that, just constantly complaining and criticizing others. They're doing it out of annoyance. It's not for pleasure. It's not to cause reactions in others. It's not to stimulate reactions. They have this nature of being negative. Then there's rude remarks and mischief. So when we're handling this, we should really know the meaning of it before we feel anything, before we jump to the emotions. So what is the meaning of an insult or sarcasm, for example? Because things get subtle in this area. So if you're dealing with rude remarks and reactions and mischief, you need to understand the meaning and intention